Hey guys, if anybody's there, went by my local, Eric the Bearder Tool Guy. Went by my local Harbor Freight this afternoon, and look what they had in stock. I just happened to catch another guy on YouTube. He had got his. Each Harbor Freight's allowed only 2 of these right now. Their new rear handle that they were talking about last November. Well, here it is. Let me open it up. I don't think I can get this until I saw somebody else. 3 days ago they had it. Okay. Here it is. Apparently I'm only the second or third one to get it. Let's see here what this new rear handle circ saw from Harbor Freight has. Up to 725 cuts per charge. Deep cuts to a depth of 2.5 inches at 90. Maintain a clean line of sight during cuts with an integrated dust blower. Let's see. Safe and accurate cuts with durable cast magnesium shoe and easy to read guide markings. Fast and precise bevel cuts with bevel detents at 15, 22, a half, 30 degrees, 45, and 53. Easy storage between uses on tool rafter hook. Quick blade changes. On blade wrench storage. Blade size 7 1/4. Arbor 5/8 diamond. Speed 5800. Depth at 92.5. Depth at 45 1 7/8. Weight almost 10 pounds. And they recommend that you use at least a 5 amp battery. Well, all I got is an 8, but it's 21/700 cells. I plan on buying the 12 amp 21/700 cells. And here's the blade. So 20-volt brushless 7 1/4 rear handle worm drive style circ saw. The book. One thing I love about Harbor Freight, if any problems you have with it, you can bring it right back to the store. I brought back a hammer drill a couple months ago. They gave me a new one. Okay. Okay. Now let's find the scrunch. The scrunch located right here. Okay. Here's the for your dust extraction. Okay. Now let's put a battery in and fire up before I even put the blade on. Like I say, I have a 2.5-year-old 21/700 cell 8 amp extreme, and it goes right in there. See if it's got any onboard lights for the battery. I like the light. No. You have to use the battery. You can see the cells on top. So, okay. Now, we find the brake. Right here. Okay. It's like my new Harbor Freight hat. Got it there too. It's a special edition. Okay. I'm going to run with this blade for the first couple of demos that I do over the rest of the weekend. I'll be doing this saw through Monday. And then when I get a chance, I want to go out and buy the brand new Milwaukee blades. I mean, this blade looks nice, but you know, it's not a Milwaukee blade. Even though it says 24 carbine teeth, max RPM of 7,000. It's got the diamond. Thought this saw would be impossible to come by. My local Harbor Freight, they had this one and another one, and I only bought one. I don't need two. Even though I got the new Milwaukee rear handle saw coming in July. That'll smoke this, but it's also 3 times the price. You know. This with a battery and a charger is probably maybe $300. The Milwaukee, put a battery, which would be the 12 amp forge, and a charger, try almost 500. Okay. Now, let me put this wrench in. I'm surprised no one else has had this on YouTube. I figured all the channels with 200,000-300,000 subscribers would already had the Harbor Freight then send them the saw for free. Not have to pay $165 for it out the door. I'm a little channel. 50,000 subscribers is not even tipping the iceberg on the big channels. They have hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Hundreds. They get their tools for free. They don't have to buy them. Manufacturers send them tools. Even though I did have some stuff sent to me, you know, a little safety thing for, you know. I had them send me some batteries and adapters. You know, this is the battery for, this was the battery for, yeah. Can't think. Oh yeah, for the Bosch. This is already, I've already got a couple videos out on it. And here's the adapter for Ryobi. So I had them send me some free batteries and adapters. Big deal. What did that cost them? 50 bucks worth of material. Okay. The dust port. It's got a couple screws. I'm not lucky enough to have tool manufacturers send me tools every week. So anybody's talking about anything. Yeah, I got DeWalt and Flex in Milwaukee. I just don't have any Makita stuff. Don't worry, the new Milwaukee saw is coming out. I'll be getting the rear handle in July. We'll compete it against all my other saws, and we all know it's going to beat the Hercules. At least for power, not for price. Suppose I should put this dust port on. Okay. Okay. About the only way it could go. Okay, let me tighten it up. It's actually a pretty nice saw. I only have one other rear handle saw skill with the dual batteries. It's, you know, skill power core 20, but with two batteries, it's 40 volts. Later in the weekend, as I'm testing, we'll put it against this. And I got a new blade on it too. So. Come up with a screwdriver just when you need one. When you need a screwdriver, you can never find it. Nothing there. Somewhere around here. Nope. Okay. Let me at least turn the other light on. Okay. Now I find a screwdriver to make sure this is nice and tight. Okay. Found one. An old Craftsman. Too big. Okay. Much smaller one. Okay, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's only held in with one screw. I swear some of those are held in with two screws. Like I say, it's going to be testing all weekend long, the whole weekend. Probably Saturday, Sunday, and Monday into next week with this saw. I'm just doing a little bit of cutting here, and I'm going to go out and buy some fresh wood for, you know. Well, let me get rid of the light. Blinded by the light. Blinded by the light. That's a song from what, the 1970s? I'm going to be 59. Okay. Now, let's see here. I got some wood here I want to cut up, you know, for my demo wood. You know. This top sheet here is 3/4 inch. This is 1.5 inches. Technically, it should go through all this. So maybe I should make a first cut. Maybe I should make a first cut here on the end just to show everybody can go through all this. Let me get an old tape measure. That I can barely read. 2¼ inches in depth. This saw, supposedly, they said it will cut. It will cut. I thought they said 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. Okay. Well, let me move this. Okay. They've all just buzzed the end. Find the battery, which is right here. I need to get the 12-amp battery. The 8 will do. That's way better than a 5-amp power. Well, it made through. 2¼ inches. Okay. Not bad. Had to move the guard. I like the light on it. The saw impresses me. A 12-amp hour would be optimum, but the 8 will work because it's 21/700 cells. But all that room in there is for a 12. That's about it. Okay. Now, let's get all this scrap wood out of my way. Okay. Now, let's see if I can just cut this top layer of wood. That's all I want to do. Split this board in half. So, see where my tape measure is. Right here. Confirm that this is, yeah, 3/4 inch. Okay. Now, the only thing I don't like, the dust port does get in the way of you doing it. Okay. Okay, it shows 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3¼ inches. Let's go. Okay, let's see where it is. No, it's not even close. Okay, let's go to the, got all the writing on it. Let's go with the 3/4 mark. Okay. Looks like it'll do it. All I want to do is cut the top board. Oh, Cole, quiet. One glove's enough. Get cut. I don't like dropping equipment. I'd rather drop my life off of a 10-story building. Okay. Wow. I put it on the setting, 3/4 inch. It didn't even score the other board. Look at that. The saw's accurate. Not a bad setup. It's accurate. Should be. It's the most expensive saw that Harbor Freight sells, other than their miter saw or their table saws next. Okay. Now, well, I scored it just a little, maybe a scratch. Okay, that's not bad. And this was already split from, this is the wood you get from Menards, you know, they're cut off crap. That's what I use. Okay. Now, let me tighten this up. Cole, you're barking at the other dog, of course. Well, I think that'll be enough. Okay. Maybe I'll cut up some of that wood then. Okay, let's go with full depth now. Oh, got a better idea. People can see me here. Oh, good. Maybe I'll, no, I don't want to destroy this wood. We'll bevel cut the other wood on an angle. Okay. 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 Not bad. Gives a good smooth cut too. That was the line that I did when I set it at 3/4 of an inch. See it? So it's almost spot on. It barely touched this other piece of wood. So that's good. Now, let me see here. Now, since we're down to that wood, yeah, thanks, Christian. You got Harbor Freight by you? You might want to get this saw now. They only get 2 in. That's it. They're not even advertising they have them at the store. I went online, it didn't show it. They're supposed to have 1 floor model and 1 to sell. Apparently they're selling them all. This is probably the shipment they got in before all the tariffs took effect. You know, all these Harbor Freight, you know, they might as well say on the hat China Freight, because it sure ain't Harbor Freight. It comes into harbor to our country from the West Coast. So maybe I will bevel cut this. And there's a knot here. Now, let me see. Battery still fully charged. Okay. Now, trying to figure out how I want to do this. I suppose right about there. Yeah, get your Harbor Freight tools now before the next shipment will probably cost a lot more money. This was only $149. Say, battery and charger, $300. That's less than the price of a Milwaukee saw. Okay. Not too bad. Let's see what it did. Not too bad. Went through a knot too. Right there. There's a knot. See the knot? Went through the knot. Not too bad. Heck, this saw might be the saw everybody to buy once I try to prove that it's any good for a few months. At least it's got a nice warranty. You can bring it back to Harbor Freight and get another one. But right now they only had 1 left in my store. What is there, 1,400 Harbor Freight? So that means what, they got 3,000 of these saws available? They'll probably be gone in a week. Okay. What I'd love to do is to be able to get a, what do they call that? They put the rail down. Yeah, I'd love to be a track saw for this. This would work optimum for a track saw. I like the handle on it too. I mean, look at this handle. Battery's still fully charged. This battery's 2.5 years old. Did a pretty good cut here. Into a knot too. Okay. It's a little cool here in Illinois right now. We're about 55 degrees. Yep. Like I say, the latest from Harbor Freight. I'll be testing it all for the next month along with the rest of the tools I got. And I am going to try to get some different blades for it. I want to get that latest blade from Milwaukee that they have out. It's a brand new one. And I also want to try to take my thick kerf blade off my latest 7 1/4 off that I bought last year and see how it'll work on, and see if this saw can spin a thicker saw blade. It should. They say this basically is a copy of the old, what is that, Gen 1 or Gen 2 rear handle. The new one that they got coming out in July is the latest one. So this copies the old one. And half the price. So, okay. Now, I'm sure all the big channels will get theirs shortly for nothing. You know who they are. I've probably spent $2,000 in the past 3 years at Harbor Freight. So, like I said, I used a warranty once on a drill. Like I say, it's a pretty good cut. Right in a knot too. Can't argue about that. Now maybe I'll cut some of this wood up. Ugh. Maybe I'll just cut this. Get rid of part of this bad wood that I've had. I'm using it here for drills. Okay. Maybe I'll put it. That'll be on this side. I'll put it right straight through here. Because I do have a fastener right about here. Okay. No problem. Smooth cut on that too, minus all the cutting drilling I did. Maybe I'll get rid of this piece. Gotta wash myself. There's a fastener. Yeah, 5,800 RPMs. It's got more RPMs than my everything other than my two new Milwaukee saws. This has more than the Flex. This has more than the Skill. And it has about the same as I think that other. No, maybe the rear handle Flex has more. But this is definitely nice. Battery still fully charged. 8 amp hour to me is good enough. Who needs a 12? This thing already weighs quite a bit right now, let alone putting a 12 in it unless you got a long, hard day's work. So I'm impressed with it, but like I say, I want to try different blades on it too. I want to try at least. Who did a test lately? Oh, I got to think of the guy's name now on YouTube. Workshop Addict. Remember he did the test with all the saw blades with the Milwaukee? That was about 2 weeks ago. That was an awesome test he did. Maybe I'll go out and buy 2 or 3 more blades and we'll run them through this saw and see what this saw can do. I've been wanting to buy this saw ever since I saw him advertise it on YouTube when they showed it last November. So this is nice. If I didn't have the Milwaukee on order, and if I was in a tool channel, I'd be happy with this. But I want that Milwaukee because that's going to blow this thing out of the water, but it's also twice the price. But we'll put it against this too and see what it'll do. And we'll put it against the rest of my saws, but I'm impressed with this. Like I say, it's kind of heavy, but we all saw how accurate it was with those cuts, with that bevel cut that we did. Well, that ain't it, but if I can find out where I put it. Like I say, you know how good this is. To me, it's a good saw. Look at that. It went through it in a knot too. I'm impressed. And it's only $149. You're not dropping $300. I should have bought the other one. Then I'd have a spare one, but I don't want to spend that kind of money. That's buying two of these. That's the price of a Milwaukee saw now. But maybe I'll go buy it and buy the other one tomorrow. Just that maybe. Let me think about what I want to do if I buy the other one. So I'll probably want to get a 12 amp battery first. The battery, what is $110, $120? I want them to come out with tabless cells. They come out with tabless cells. That'll push these tools a lot faster. Say, okay. Yep. Like I say, Harbor Freight, you can't laugh at their stuff now. I got a lot of tools I like from them. I like their top of the line impact driver. I like their top of the line drills. I like their high torque impact wrenches. I have two of those. They're real, they're Gen 2s, and I got this. And I want to get their 12 volt, what is that thing called? Die grinder, but that thing's impossible to come by. Every time I go there, they're all sold out. But go to your Harbor Freight right now. If you have one near you, see if you can pick up this saw, because they only have two in, and you have to look for it. And these were on the shelves, but they didn't have any display models. I don't think anybody saw it. That was probably the display model. They were probably told to sell the display model too. So, okay, guys, I'll be going live again probably. See, today's Thursday. I'm busy tomorrow. I'm busy maybe Saturday afternoon, evening, and we'll do more testing with this. Then I want to get to my mid-torque challenge, and I want to run the new Ryobi impact driver against a bunch more that I still need to do. So I got enough testing coming up for the next couple weeks to keep me busy. So, okay, Eric the Beard the Tool Guy signing out.